The video that you're about to watch will cover the complexities of separating laboratory-grown diamonds, known commonly as lab-grown diamonds, from polished natural diamond. This video is the first in a suite of videos. It's a compilation put together by Gem Training International, the Harry Oppenheimer Diamond Training School, Howard Bell, and EGL South Africa. There are quite a number of screening and testing instruments on the market that are used by those in the trade. The fact of the matter is, with instruments such as these, there is no one instrument that can, with 100% certainty, separate natural diamond from all laboratory-grown diamonds. This means that further tests must be done using sophisticated gemological instruments that are operated by trained personnel and also who have the experience and the knowledge to interpret the results of those machines. I'm going to submit 5 stones to the Gemological Laboratory, which is EGL South Africa. I want them to positively confirm whether these diamonds are natural diamond or laboratory grown. And if they are laboratory grown, then I would like them to tell me whether they are HPHT or CVD grown, and if any post-growth treatments have taken place. As the video will show you, the instruments used to determine whether it is a natural diamond or a laboratory grown diamond or a laboratory grown diamond that has been subjected to post-growth treatments will typically look for the diamond types, the growth and treatment peaks that may be at the diamond, and the fluorescence and the phosphorescence. The final result will be given by the gemologist, who will evaluate all the information given from the instruments used to test the particular diamond. So, what do we mean by diamond type? The common perception is that diamond is made of pure carbon, when in reality it is carbon plus other trace elements. It is the presence or absence of these trace elements that will determine the diamond type. We use an instrument called an FDIR spectrometer to determine the diamond type that the diamond falls into, and it is an integral part of the identification process. There are 2 types of laboratory-grown diamond. The first is high pressure, high temperature, commonly known as HPHT, and the second is chemical vapor deposition, known as CVD. Diamonds grown by these 2 methods fall into 3 of the 4 diamond types. Type 1A, this is an aggregated nitrogen category, and most natural diamonds fall into this category. The type 1B, this is an isolated nitrogen within the crystal structure. The majority of yellow HPHT grown stones fall into this category. The type 2A, this is the purest form of diamond and is relatively free of trace elements. Most CVD diamonds fall into this category, but some HPHT grown stones can also fall into this category. The type 2B, natural diamonds in this category are commonly blue and grey and are electrically conductive due to the boron element. But these can be grown by HPHT and CVD methods by including boron in the growth chamber. I liken testing gems to a pyramid structure. We start at the bottom of the pyramid, and using a variety of tests, we arrive at the conclusive answer. Obviously, we start by submitting the stones to the laboratory. From there on, I have 7 instruments at our disposal. We're going to start using the Dr. Watson screening instrument and move on to the FDIR spectrometer, the diamond view, the Raman spectroscope, a gem microscope, a fluorescence unit, and a phosphorescence unit. And a combination of these tests will allow us to determine the final result. The 5 stones and the invoice are put into an envelope. And this envelope is going to be handed to the gemologist who's going to be doing the testing on all 5 stones. The testing is going to be done by Craig Thomas, who is an FGA of Great Britain, and also he is a GG of the United States of America. And Craig has been in the industry testing gems for over 27 years.
Okay, we're going to be testing these 5 stones, screening them with the Dr. Watson. I'll place the 5 stones into the tray. I put them in a specific order so that when I take them out again, I can make sure that each stone goes into the appropriate packet. The Dr. Watson uses high-powered ultraviolet light and sophisticated software to determine whether the diamonds are natural or synthetic. Already we can clearly see that this stone here has been shaded red, indicating that it is an HPHT synthetic diamond. The two stones at the top look like CVDs, the pinkish color more than likely a naturally as grown stone, and the green is post-growth treated. The two blue colors at the bottom look like natural diamonds. However, we may need further testing. We have now finished the screening phase. We have our suspicions about these stones. However, we will be moving to the Fourier transform infrared spectrometer to confirm which diamond type they belong to and confirm our suspicions about these stones. We're now going to use the Fourier transform infrared spectrometer to determine the diamond type of our 5 stones and confirm our suspicions after using the Dr. Watson. Okay, so the Fourier transform has finished performing its 10 scans on the stone, and we can clearly see that there is no nitrogen over here, meaning that this stone is a type 2A, which would require further testing to determine whether it was natural or synthetic. However, we do remember from the Dr. Watson that this stone was one of the blue stones, which would indicate natural, so we would be suspecting natural. Our second stone has now been scanned. It was the small oval stone, which was also blue on Dr. Watson. Now we can clearly see that it contains a lot of nitrogen, meaning that it is type 1A and natural. This stone is now done and can go through to the lab for grading. This was our third stone, which showed up red on the Dr. Watson, indicating that it was an HPHT. We can now see that there is no nitrogen present, meaning that it is type 2A. Also confirming its synthetic origin. However, we will put it on the diamond view just to confirm that it was in fact HPHT grown. We're doing stone number 4 now. I've run the scans. This was the green stone that we suspected as an CVD grown synthetic. We can clearly see that there is no nitrogen or aggregated nitrogen present here, meaning that it is type 2A and suspect as a lab grown diamond. We will confirm this with the diamond view. Our fifth and final stone has now been scanned with the Fourier transform infrared spectrometer. This was the pink stone on the Dr. Watson, which we suspected as CVD grown diamond. We can clearly see no nitrogen present, which would confirm that this stone is suspect of being laboratory grown. We will now confirm this using the diamond view. Okay, so we've just done the diamond view on stone number 1, and this is what it looks like. You can clearly see these web-like structures along with this blue fluorescent color on the diamond view. These are good indications that this is a natural type 2A. So we're now going to do stone number 2, which was the other stone that we suspected of being natural. And we confirmed this with the FTIR because it is a type 1A, which is not synthesized. So we know that this is a natural stone. However, we're still going to use the diamond view just to identify the natural structures so that when we do the synthetics, we are able to contrast the natural structures with the synthetic ones. You can clearly see the bright blue color, which is not a color that we see often in a synthetic diamond. We've scanned stone number 3. This was the stone which we saw on Doc Watson, which glowed red. We confirmed that it was a type 2A on the Fourier transform infrared, And here we can clearly see that this is an HPHT grown synthetic. We have this hourglass shape here in black, along with this green, bluish green fluorescence in the diamond view. When we excite the stone using high-powered ultraviolet light, we see that the stone phosphoresces strongly. This is the feature which is responsible for it glowing red on the Dr. Watson. We've now looked at stone number 4 on the diamond view. This was the stone that was greenish on Dr. Watson. On the Fourier transform infrared, it had no nitrogen, showing it was a type 2A. And here we can clearly see that this stone is a CVD grown synthetic. You can see this layer of dark material over here, showing the layered growth. You also have this phosphorescence over here, which usually indicates that this stone has received post-growth treatment in order to whiten the CVD. We've now done stone number 5 in the diamond view. Here we can see this unusual purplish reddish color with these swathes of blue fluorescence through the stone. This is quite common in CVD grown synthetics. There is a slight amount of phosphorescence. It's not very strong, but there is some phosphorescence. This stone is also clearly CVD grown synthetic. We've now finished testing our 5 stones and have come to a conclusion, both natural and synthetic respectively. However, there are rare instances where we may still be undecided. In those cases, we would then take that stone to the Raman spectrometer in order to help us make a final decision. We've now established that stone number 1 and stone number 2 are natural origin diamonds, with stone number 1 being a type 2A and stone number 2 being a type 1A. I will run one of them through the Raman just to show you what a natural diamond looks like. They both will have a peak at around 1332, which indicates diamond. As we can see now, here is the 1332 peak that indicates diamond, not natural or synthetic, just diamond. Over here at around about 737, we can see there is no peak. If it were a synthetic, we might expect to see a silicon peak there. We're now going to run stone number 5, which was a CVD lab-grown diamond, just to show you what you could look for if you were still unsure as to whether the stone was lab-grown after using the diamond view. Here we can clearly see there is a 737 peak which is associated with silicon, which, although possible in natural diamond, is exceptionally rare. The presence of this peak almost definitely tells us that this stone is a CVD lab-grown diamond.
So there we have it. The ongoing complexities of determining whether a diamond is natural diamond or laboratory grown requires the use of sophisticated gemological instruments that are operated by skilled, trained staff who have the experience to understand the results given by the various instruments that will give us a positive outcome as to whether the diamond is natural or laboratory grown.